14th, 2024. Going to call the meeting to order at 6 p.m. My name is Tara Parks. I'm the executive assistant and I'm opening the meeting before the restructure happens. Could we start with a board member roll call? Why don't we start with you?
William Cottrell,
Mike Gardner.
Jamie Percy,
Carl Strohmeyer.
Okay, can we please stand for the pledge? Pledge allegiance.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, moving on now to board restructure. Do I have a nomination for chair?
I'll nominate Mike.
The nomination for Mike. Are there any other nominations? In a second. Any discussion?
You have to ask 3 times, right?
Yeah.
Okay, there any other nominations? Any other nominations besides Mike? So we have a nomination and a second. Is there any discussion? Any discussion? Okay, all in favor of Mike being chair of the board?
Aye.
Aye.
All right.
All right, Mike,
Thank you.
you get to take over.
All right. We'll be going to nominate, accept nominations for vice chair. This time.
I nominate Angie, even though she's not here.
I'll second. I have a nomination for Angie Rawling and a second. Any more nominations? Any more nominations? Any more nominations? All those in favor of Angie?
All right.
Aye. Clerk, we do nominate a clerk, correct? Open, accept nominations for clerk.
Does the clerk have any duties?
Would take minutes if there were any in an executive session. And there are some other duties and I don't know what they are statutorily.
Very minimal as far as the executive session goes.
Yeah, there's very minimal notes.
I think that if like I wasn't here, they would take.
Did fill in? Okay.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
I'll nominate, William Cottrell. You want to be called William or Billy?
Bill's.
Bill. Okay, I'll nominate Bill for clerk.
I'll second it.
Any more nominations? Any more nominations? Any more nominations? All those in favor of Bill as the clerk?
Aye.
Aye. All right, approval of the agenda.
These for you, so I get to this for number 6.
Right, when we get there. Approval of the agenda, select board rules of procedure, paper of record, policy discussion, public comment, approval of minutes, warrants, correspondence, excess weight permits, tobacco and second class, liquor license, application, gravel crushing bid, highway department equipment purchase, highway department ARPA funds discussion, executive assistant, administrative assistant job description approval, employee job performance review, policy discussion continued, select board areas of expertise discussion, public comment, and adjourn. And I'd like to add an agenda item. I'd like to add discussion amongst board members for some remote meetings over the course of the year.
Some remote one.
Yeah,
Remote
remote
meetings?
meetings. Yep,
Okay.
yep. Yeah, and I don't know where to add it. We can put it in, let's put it down after Joel so that we can get,
15A.
yeah, 15A. Then we don't keep anybody around. I don't think it should take too long for that, but I don't want to keep anybody longer than they have to.
Motion to accept with a change.
Second. Have a motion in a second. All those in favor of the agenda?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Select Board Rules of Procedure, Paper of Record and Policy Discussion. We have adopted and followed Robert's Rules of Order. Our regular meetings are held on the second and fourth Thursday of the month at 6 P M. The meetings are at the town office, but are available to join via Zoom, Facebook Live, and or Cat TV. Our meetings are always warned on our town website, our social media page, Village Market, Winchester Store, as well as the town office. Our paper of record is the Bennington Banner. I am going to, I have the option for chair. I am going to vote, on anything that comes up. As the board chair, I'm not gonna be the tiebreaker. I'm just going to be a regular board member voting. Anybody want to make any changes to these additions, corrections?
I just have, something from the lawyer for legal when you're finished.
Yep. Anybody have any problems with any of that stuff?
No,
Perfect. Tara has a couple of things from our lawyer. We've done some research over the
So,
last week, so.
so there's been a lot of questions, on Bill's role on the select board because he is an employee. So I reached out to our town attorney. I forwarded our conflict of interest policy, which will be part of the minutes. I'll ask Hannah to post it with the minutes. So that can be viewed as well. So I forwarded it to him and I asked him, you know, the questions that have come up as far as what Bill can vote on and stuff to make it easier. I just like to read what he said. Said, Tara, thanks for the email regarding the conflict of interest issues. First, as to whether Bill should recuse himself with evaluating the performance of his supervisor. The answer is yes. In my view, there is a conflict of interest as defined by your policy. The definition speaks to the direct or indirect personal or financial interest. Here, if the board member is in the position of evaluating a supervisor's performance, there is both a personal and a financial interest implicated. For example, if the board member gave a supervisor a fabulous evaluation, such a decision could financially benefit the board member in terms of possibly gaining a promotion from the supervisor. Where the board member is having to evaluate a co-employee, it would be my recommendation for the board member to recuse himself. Second, as to things like payroll warrants, I don't think that amounts to a conflict of interest due to the policy's exclusion of situations where the participant in an act doesn't create any greater interest than other employees. The policy reads, a conflict of interest does not arise in the case of an official act or action in which the public officer has a personal or financial interest in the outcome, such as the establishment of a tax rate that is no greater than that of another person's generally affected by the decision. Third, as for the Conservation Commission, I think that Bill's participation in actions of the select board whereby the select board is approving or disapproving actions or requests of the Conservation Commission is permissible. My suggestion would be for Bill to disclose that he is a member of the Conservation Commission before voting. But in large part, the select board's actions on the conservation matters is a matter of setting policy. I would not think he has to recuse himself for setting policy or approving certain requests made by the commission. Fourth, as to setting policy, Bill will want to disclose any conflicts of interest, but absent some direct or indirect financial or personal interest in the policy, I see no reason why Bill could not participate in votes which set policy as a town action or town ordinances. For example, if the board were talking about adopting a short-term rental ordinance, then any select board member who also may be a landlord or Airbnb owner or operator would want to disclose those facts. However, the fact that a board member may be a landlord would not preclude him or her from acting on or setting the policy, as the views on the policy are a reflection of the board member's political views. Fifth, as to voting on increases in the compensation. Again, this depends on whether the action could have greater impact on himself or not. For example, if the select board is making a decision on including health benefits as part of the compensation program and applying it to all employees, then it may not be a conflict of interest. But if the select board is voting on whether to give a 4% raise or a 5% raise, there is clearly a direct financial interest at stake in the vote, and thus the board member or employee should recuse himself from that vote, as it is a conflict of interest per the town policy definition. As a general suggestion, the board member / employee would be wise to disclose all conflict situations, both direct and indirect, and both real and potential. There is generally greater acceptance of an action when the potential conflict is disclosed and compared to when it is not a decision, when it is not a decision made without public knowing of the conflict. Disclosure of conflicts simply leads to better trust in the governmental body and in the individual board member. And then if we have more specific examples, we can reach back out. I think that kind of covers the most of it.
Any other discussion on our rules of procedure?
And I did that then so he can vote on
Yep.
warrants and all of
Perfect.
that stuff.
Hannah, any public comment at this time?
Yeah, Jim has his hand.
Okay.
Hello, people. Oh, hello, people. Jim Kosis, North Mason Hill Road. Hey, first of all, congratulations, Mike, on your continued leadership of, the town. I had a phone call the other day, kind of, asking questions about a certain permit that was approved and any, possible, types of, let's say, time requirements or anything else like that. So, I kind of, told them that, basically I don't want to get involved with it. But, at the same time, I just was wondering if there's any procedure or who would be the next board to be approached concerning any updates that may the town want concerning, zoning. Particularly, types of businesses that could be opened up within rural residential areas, just to kind of just make sure we're up to date and, it isn't infringing on, people's properties or their investments or, their livelihoods, et cetera, et cetera. So I was hoping that, it does it go through the, select board? Does it go through the, planning commission, or does it go through, a different organization? But I think it's just time that we need to, there are two issues that have come up recently that I've been approached with that, we need to kind of discuss this issue and just bring it to the town. So thank you very much. Have a good day.
So Jim, could you please submit that question in an email form? Either to, Tara, Hannah, myself, select board, somebody. Just so we have that question. We're not gonna, one of the things we're not gonna do this year, as I'm the board chair, is I've made my mind up that we're not going to get into a question and answer section under public comment. Hold on. All
Okay.
questions, that kind of nature will be directed, through an email form, and then we will answer them through an email form, back, please.
That's your new policy. I thank you very much, and I will do that.
Thank you, Jim. Any other public comment here?
No, their hands up.
Jim, just to clarify on that, actually, if you wanted to present that question in a written form, or anybody for that matter, in a written form, that would be acceptable too, rather than.
Okay, just
Rather-
to add, if I do email it, you will not consider it as a hacked email that's coming in.
I'm sorry, you broke up a little bit there. What was that, Jim?
I'm sorry, if I do email it, because you've had a policy before that you don't accept emails coming in, it will not be considered a type of hacked email that someone else is taking over my email and asking the question, but I can email it in to Hannah and Tara.
Yes, that policy never, we talked about that, but it never became a solid policy or anything, so that's a moot point.
Okay, thank you very much. Have a good day.
You too, thank you. Approval of minutes, February 22nd, 2024 select board meeting. We can't approve those, we can't do the 29th, because we don't have. Andy, so we'll have to bring those back. At the next regular meeting, please. Accounts payable, March 1st, 2024, $8,558.74.
So move.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion, questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Accounts payable March 8th, 2024, $33,106.09.
So moved. Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any questions, comments? Excuse me. All those in favor?
Aye.
Accounts payable March 15th, 2024, $23,101.19.
So moved. Second.
Any questions, comments? All those in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Opposed? I should ask that every time. I apologize. Payroll, March 1st, $11,946.25.
So moved. Second.
Questions, comments? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Payroll, March 8th, $11,266.53.
So moved. Second.
Any questions, comments? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Payroll, March 15th, $12,616.97.
So moved. Second.
The motion in a second. Any questions, comments? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Any correspondence?
We do. So the first one is from Donna Lozon. She just asked if we could add the current and approved conflict of interest policy to the website. But I'll let her know that it'll be part of the minute. So it'll be available on the website. The next one is from Matt Gardner. I would like the select board to reappoint me to the Pownal DRB for another term. Thank you. So he was up for reappointment this year.
Make a motion to reappoint Matt Gardner to the DRB.
Second.
I have a motion in a second. I'm going to recuse myself. Any more discussion on that? Nope. All those in favor?
Aye.
And I am recusing myself.
Okay, so then we have two letters of interest in the planning commission. Brian Harris is the only one that's up for reappointment, and his letter of interest did come first. It came on March 6th. It says, "Hello, Tara, please share this email with the select board. Hello, everyone. My name is Brian Harris, and I am submitting my letter of interest to the planning commission. Please consider me for this open position. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me," and get this number. The second was received on March 11th, and it's from Bob Jarvis. "Hi, I'm interested in serving on the planning commission. If there are no remaining open spots, I would like to be considered an alternate. I have long been interested in our town plan, achieved some changes to the current town plan through both citizen involvement and while serving on the select board. In addition to being a Pownal resident for most of my life, I have excellent writing and research skills, computer skills, and decades of management experience. I'm a graduate of Skidmore College, a bachelor's and RPI master's. Thank you for the consideration." Like I said, that one, Brian's came first and Bob's came after.
So I think before we even, I think our website is wrong on planning commission. I think our planning commission only has 7 members. And I think it shows vacant members on our website. And I apologize, my laptop won't work tonight.
I can check it to make sure. I didn't notice that yesterday,
Right.
but it should be 7 members and there are no alternates.
It was-
remaining.
It was brought to my attention today
Okay.
about the website, so that's why I didn't give you a heads up this afternoon
Yeah.
at 4 o'clock. I do know that Brian is up and his term is, he is up this year, 2024. What's the board's pleasure?
Like to nominate Brian for planning board. I'll second.
Any discussion? All those in favor of Brian?
Aye.
I don't know how the alternate thing would work, so I'd like to hold off on that one.
I don't,
There is
I
no,
believe it's state statute, you can't have alternates.
there's no alternates on any board or commission except for the DRB.
That's what I thought, but I'd like to just double check that to make sure before we do anything else with that.
Trying to find.
I would also like to compile a list to bring to the next regular board meeting of vacant positions, whether they are alternates or not.
We have- There's one alternate on DRB and one Conservation Commission member.
So if we
That's
bring
it.
that to our next board meeting, just so we have it official and we can put it on our agenda, please.
Yep.
Or mine was the only one that was up for redo
Excellent.
this year. Fred and Megan
Next year, right?
and Stacy Boxer
That's 2025.
are for next year,
Yeah.
yes.
Okay.
And then the rest of them are.
I just want to make sure that we knew the right thing on the planning commission because it
Yep.
was brought to my attention about the number on our website and
Yep.
alternates and back and forth. So
Yep.
I didn't have time to research that out today. Any more correspondence?
Yep.
Excess weight permits. You want to vote on these individually? Which is probably what we should do. I don't have, like, maybe I do have them all in front of me, but I have the list right here and we're gonna go with the list. Excess weight, and Joel, you've signed off on all of these, on this whole list, correct? Okay, because usually I have them in front of me, I just don't. First one is for Velco, the board's pleasure. Are these? Looking at these permits, Joel, I would say they're all fleet permits.
What?
Do you remember? They're all fleet permits.
Yes.
Yeah, they should be.
I think they're all fleet.
They are in that folder too, but they are.
Okay,
Maybe you should.
oh, they're this one.
It's a group.
Yeah.
It's the way we used to do them. right?
Okay.
And then there's them all.
Yep. I have a permit, excess weight permit for Velco, Phoenix Feeds and Nutrition, West Oil Company, Consolidated Communications, Valley Crane Services, Robert Green Incorporated, and RK Miles.
Motion to accept the overweight permits for our road foreman's approval.
I'll second.
Any discussion on them? And I apologize, they are writing in front of me, I was just writing on the folder that they were in because of the table clock. No discussion, all those in favor of the excess weight permits that I listed?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, tobacco and second class license application.
So we have a tobacco license application from Winchester Store. For the first one.
Make a motion to accept.
I'll second.
Any discussion? Questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
And next is a second class license application for Winchester Store.
Make a motion to accept the second class application.
I'll make the second.
Any discussion, questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
That was it?
Yep.
Okay, Joel, gravel crushing bid.
Okay. So you have it in front of you. I'm losing my voice, so maybe Tara or Mike would read.
Yep, I can read them. I don't have my laptop, so I'll just, gravel bids came back in at $9.50 a yard from Hunter, $8.95 from Fuzzy Brothers. Basin Brothers is $8.20 a yard, and Gallivant is at $7.75 a yard. Seeing as though we already have a working relationship with Basin, I would like to have him do it. So my recommendation is to have Basin Brothers do the crushing. The difference between the two is $2,475 on the total price. Joel, how many yards is that?
It's about 200 and what I figured 250, 60 yards.
Okay. Sorry to make you talk, but I just wanna make sure.
Well, I just thought.
Yep.
We use Basin for grinding and he was good on the rocks for rip wrapping. We've had him there before and we know he does good work.
Right. What's the big, what's the board's pleasure? Yeah, they work well with our crew, which is,
Yes.
you know,
You're saying, I remember right, we had compliments as far as from people on the road that was dealing with the trucking and all that back then. So. I'll make
what's
a
the board's
motion to-
pleasure?
I'll make the motion.
Go with Basin?
Yes.
Okay, I have a motion on the floor to, have Basin Brothers do our gravel crushing for, this year. Any more discussion? Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion on this? Questions, comments? No questions, comments? All those in favor of Basin?
Aye.
Okay. Highway Department equipment purchase. You want me to read your voice? I know what you're looking for here, so you want me to?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. For the Kubota excavator, the KXO, their U-55 that we bought last year. Joel's looking for a 48-inch ditching bucket with, not just a ditching bucket, it has the rotary tilt.
Yeah.
It'll tilt, side to side for ditching, which I think is a really good, it's a good asset to have. Got three prices, capital tractor was $7,300. Ably equipment was $9,000, and those buckets were the same, they were a Geif bucket,
Yeah,
or Geef, yep, all right, sorry. Salem is a work ground bucket for $6,850.
I looked on the internet and actually there is some a little cheaper, but when I kind of looked into the reviews on some of them guys, they were, and the one guy down in Connecticut, I asked him if I could pick it up because some of the reviews said if you're gonna buy from them, pick it up yourself.
Yeah.
And he didn't want me to pick it up. He wanted to ship it.
The question I have would be, Joel, is there any substantive difference between the Geith and the Salem's bucket? I mean,
The work,
they're basically identical except for the different brand.
pretty much. I think the work brown may be a little better. I don't know. Geeth's a good name.
Yes.
I also talked to Diesel Equipment in Syracuse. They were about 4,000. They didn't offer a 48-inch, but only a 42. They just started, put in for, getting them made. They're made in Korea and they ship them in. So that one was kind of
One more question on it. Is that FOB here or FOB there?
Salem.
At Salem or here?
They'll drop it off.
They'll drop it. Okay.
Well, get it, but they'll,
I'll bring it over.
yeah, Mo will.
Oh, Mo, yeah.
Yeah, he brought the last one over. He was good about it.
What's your pleasure on the bucket?
I'll make a motion that we go with the Salem Farm Supplies bucket, the WB at $68.50.
Second that.
Any more discussion on that? Being no discussion, all those in favor? Blowers, looking for a blower for, leaf and debris, if I'm not
Yeah,
mistaken.
off the side of the road. Good sized one, something that's gonna,
Something hook at the back of the truck or
Tractor.
well,
what?
you can do different things. We don't have any quick hitches, on any smaller equipment, so this will be on a trailer.
Okay.
We can do something maybe different down the road or some people got them on a grader, some people, Bennington's got them on a skid steer, or no, on a loader bucket, backhoe bucket. You can do different things.
There's two prices here, pretty much identical prices. Buffalo Turbine Mega Blower, $13,779. Agri-Metal TB 350 is $13,775. And so I should have brought this up before we voted. In our equipment fund, we have $160,356.83. After July, we had another 50,000 for a total of $210,358.83. Just a side note, I should have brought that up. I apologize. I meant to when I said.
Joel, are these both, they're gonna deliver them?
Yeah,
They're not local dealers.
no.
Okay.
Is there a preference?
All I was gonna go with the agri-metal anyhow, Bennington, North Bennington, most of them are. up.
Okay.
You got one, Williamstown, Petersburg, and they all run the agri-metal. I've looked at them.
Okay, I'll make a motion that we accept the agri-metals PB 350 at $13,775.
Second that.
Any discussion on that? What's the turnaround time, delivery time?
4 weeks on the bucket and 6 on the blower.
Okay, just curious, just so everyone
We'll be
knows.
good with leaves for 6 weeks. or so.
Yeah, I think, I don't think we'll be blowing any leaves for a little bit.
One more thing I did kind of want to bring up,
Let me vote on that first.
oh, okay, sorry about that.
Yep, that's right. Any more discussion on the blower?
Hmm.
Any no more discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, Joel, sorry.
You look at the capital equipment fund, we do have a 2012, the 4x4 that's, well, was up really last year to get rid of. This next time we want to go, something a little smaller, maybe the CB, the International, or 550 or 650 Ford or something in that range.
My opinion, Joel and I talked about this the other day, and my opinion is the same as what he's, putting out there right now, to go to a little smaller truck that doesn't require a CDL driver.
Yeah.
Down to the Ford 650 range, and I'm just throwing out things, right? Could be a Chevy Dodge. I'm not a brand specific, but that particular size,
Under
the
20.
international, yeah, under 26,000. I think it would benefit. I think it would be a little better on some of the tighter back roads and some different things too.
Single axis, that's what you're talking about.
Yes, single act.
Single ax-
Or four-wheel drive.
Wheel drive.
You're talking to pickup, dump truck pickup, a dump truck,
Yeah,
dump truck pickups.
yeah, well, we will put a sander in it
Okay,
also.
right. I just was curious.
Yeah.
Okay, trying to.
Yeah.
Because the ones we have, the medium one, the ones that, like I seen Billy driving today, he has to have a CDL for that one?
I had one today.
Oh, you weren't? Well, somebody was.
No,
The sander was on it with the dump, truck, little dump.
Yes, we do.
Yeah.
Okay, dear God, yeah, no, we don't need people having CDLs to have to drive those.
3,500 GVW.
Yeah.
You go over 26,
Yeah,
you gotta have a,
I didn't realize they were that heavy.
I'd like to put it out to bid. I like to RFP it, just to see what it is. That's my opinion.
Yep.
I'd like to see a, four-wheel drive under CDL, under 26,000.
Yeah.
I'm gonna leave up the size, leave the size of the plow, I think up to you. Sander. And, I don't know. I know I've seen them with wings on the side of them. Should we price out option with a wing on the side versus having to go with the big truck on
they
a back row?
tell me
Just
they're a
curious.
little too light to run a wing. I don't know, we could try it, I guess, we could sit, but they tell me they're just a little bit too.
Yeah, just a
That would
thought.
make, that would make sense, that just, because there's a lot of snow you're pushing when you throw a wing on that.
Yeah, when you go, yeah.
Yeah. But I was thinking maybe, after the fact, you could go back and instead of running the grader around. Just a thought.
Well, I got a wing on the tandem too.
Yeah, going up some of the back roads a little tight with a tandem, right?
I've done them all.
I know you have, but
It's what it is.
yeah, no, I know. Just a thought, Joel, after our conversation the other day, just,
Yeah, no, it's a good idea. And like I said, if we're gonna start, going by the capital plan, do you guys have a copy? These guys?
Oh, I made a note to send it to them. I'll have to send it in a.
yeah, it's time to, we talked about it, it's time to start, you got a truck that's 12 years old, 13 years old.
yeah, it's getting, we just put $1,600 worth of air tanks on it. They were rotted, and probably another 1,600 worth of springs on the front.
I brought this up years ago before I was on the board to different board members and different road foremans. It's like, my personal opinion is that's what you should have on a back road instead of having those big trucks. That's just my opinion. I don't do it every day.
Mason Hill, some.
Yeah, some of those roads are pretty tough with a big truck. Not a lot of room.
Four-wheel drive helps too.
Yeah, I'd like to just have Joel send that. So
Chainsaw.
come up with some prices and just to see what it is.
We'll go.
I think order time's pretty far out anyway, no matter what, so.
Yeah,
Yeah, come up with that and we'll send out an RFP.
I know the fellow from HP Fairfield said they buy a lot of the international CVs and they build them. So that way, because a lot of towns, that's what they're doing is going under CDL because it's tough.
Any more discussion on that?
Nope.
Anything else on that, Joel? Equipment?
No,
Okay.
in the ARPA, so we kind of got together for a rough idea. We want to go 54 by 75 by 16 tall, with 5 or 6 overhead doors. We'll see how they go. 12 by 14. Probably be 5 overhead doors, a wash bay. Now, this was just kind of talking to the guy. He was gonna figure out a solid price, but he said that was insulated, all the doors, windows, everything but the concrete. About $250, he said, and that's, they put it up, it's on your slab, but we don't have to go that, I just wanted to kind of get an idea,
Yeah,
we could go with,
we can do anything. We haven't agreed to anything.
kind of do it, yeah, ourselves or some local contractors that, so I knew you had some left there and I'd kind of like to ask you guys, you don't have to decide tonight. You can think about it,
Okay.
let me know. It's nothing you have to.
We need to put up the ARPA discussion on our next regular meeting anyway. I didn't put it on tonight because of, new board and whatever. Knew we'd have a couple people getting their feet wet anyways. I'd like to add the ARPA discussion for the next regular board meeting. And, we do have to allocate. We don't have to spend it, but we have to allocate that money.
You don't have to until December.
Until December, that's right. But I think that this, my opinion about a building where you store your trucks inside and you have a wash bay and it should increase the life expectancy of a lot of our equipment.
Well, we will have to be buying air tanks that would just,
You would hope.
Still, they're like paper.
Yeah.
yeah,
The stuff today is junk,
But
but
steel today is terrible.
it should increase. It's also gonna be a whole lot nicer for the employees when they gotta go out. Go to a storm and they get in a truck and they don't have to clean a bunch of snow off it to start with.
Yeah.
But we have, I put it on the sheet too.
Yep. Yeah.
We will, after the 1st of July, have 146 in it. We have 121 in it. We put 25, so we'll have 146 in it.
In the fund. Yeah.
We have, in that would be in the building fund.
Yeah,
In our leftover ARPA money, we have $129,823.48 unallocated ARPA money right now.
Right.
Okay,
so you could give us 100. We'll just call it a wash, see?
we could. Yeah, good try. It's a good sales pitch.
But it's something, actually, it's gonna benefit the town. You know, it'll add to our infrastructure such as, you know.
And I think before we even go out to do any of this,
Yeah.
right, we go out to bid and we put out, we decide if we're gonna do a, you know, a prefab, so to speak.
Yeah.
More.
Or build your own.
Well, that was just an idea.
Right, exactly. We have to have a place to start.
Just to get a general idea.
Have to have a starting point.
Mike, I'd like to ask Tara, are there any, how can I put this? I know on some of the federal programs, there is a wage requirement where you have to, that is not the case with ARPA money. We can pay prevailing local wages versus prevailing whatever
The
I
federal
know,
wages.
yeah, you know what I'm saying, because I've run into some of those grants where you have to pay,
That's state.
right,
If it's federal funds, yeah, we have to.
you know what I'm saying, yeah.
Actually, prevailing wage in Vermont is usually less than people coming in from other states normally make.
Correct.
It's not.
We
And
can
I
get into that.
do believe we will be following that.
Oh, no, I know, yeah, we will, but I just was wondering, that was all, because some of them do, some of them don't. It all depends what agency you're getting the money from.
We ran into that on the bridge.
Yes.
We did
Right.
down there.
I was gonna say that, I know.
Then the guy asked me and I forgot what it was at the time. We looked it up and he said he pays this guys more than that normally, so wouldn't be an issue.
Yeah,
That's all I wanted to know.
I had that discussion down there at the bridge site. Couple of years ago. All right, let's bring the ARPA funds back, next regular meeting. And, we'll go from there. Anything else, Joel?
No, we're good. Thank you. Anything you guys want to ask? We're ditching right now. You know, kind of in between.
Looks like you can probably start grading in a couple of weeks if the weather holds, right? It's like, holy, no, it's like
Don't
crazy,
say that.
crazy. Yeah, it's nuts, but whatever.
They said last year this time is when we got that big storm.
Yeah, exactly a year ago. Yeah.
You never know.
You never know, but
We
yeah,
were chasing soft spots last year,
soft spots, you were chasing,
Yeah, now you got more than-
you know, all this crap.
chasing 3 feet of snow.
Yeah,
Okay,
I just,
so this is a thought that I had, after kind of came up to me in my own little head after town meeting and then after some discussion amongst, some of our outside organizations, the fire departments, for one. I'd like to, and I know we gotta look into the legality of it for sure and what we can and can't do. And I'm not saying that we take and replace a regular board meeting here with it. But maybe in between, we do some remote meetings.
Okay.
Some of my ideas, and these are just ideas that popped into my head. I'd like to visit the fire departments. We've been asked by them to visit, see what they do. I'd like to do that. I'd like to go into the library. The library was fairly outspoken at town meeting. I'd like to approach Jim Boutin and maybe set something up there. Some of the other ideas that I've had. And you guys, I want you guys to all pitch in here, and Angie when she's back. I don't want to be the only one. I'd like to go set up I'd like to go into the trailer parks and set up one night for an hour. And maybe we hand out some candy and water or whatever to the kids. I don't know. I just think that, as a select board, I think we need to reconnect with our town and the townspeople. I think we've become, over the years, I don't think it's anybody that has done it on purpose. I just think it's, the select board has become disconnected with the residents and the organizations within our own town. And I think it's time to reconnect. What's the board's pleasure on that? I just.
I'll make a motion that we do it if we can. I mean, I think the biggest thing is gonna be logistics, right, versus legality, because I think legally, we can meet anywhere we want.
But I don't think, without having, I just want to make sure that if it's just minutes, that we don't have to have it.
If you are not discussing town business, you can meet and you don't even have to warn it.
Right.
You wouldn't be meeting, you would be joining the fire department.
You're talking something like that, going down and just,
I'm talking
Saying
next
hi.
Thursday night, the board of, the select board goes to the Pownal Valley Fire Department.
we can meet so long as we don't discuss town business.
And we meet with the Pownal Valley Fire Department instead of having a regular board meeting on a Thursday night. We go and we meet with them and we see what they do. And the following meeting would be, a regular board meeting would be right here. The next week, and I'm just being hypothetical, right? I'm not on a calendar thing here. The next week after that, we get on to Pownal Fire Department. Then we have a board meeting. Then we go to to the library and maybe we only do it once a month. But I think we need to get reconnected with our town. I think we just, just my opinion and for what it's worth, I think becoming reconnected with our town, as a select board, I just think we've become disconnected.
I will just add this, and this is worth probably what you paid for it. If we meet, it's gonna be hard for us not to, if we're gonna meet at one of your houses, it's gonna be hard for us as a select board not to talk about town business because we're there. I mean, would we better off just
Warn
to
it.
have a warrant and have a select board meeting at, Pownal or at the rescue squad or over here at the,
I'm sorry, Beck, I didn't mean to leave you out. I just, and you're sitting here. Yeah.
Rose between two thorns.
You certainly were left out on purpose, Beck.
But, you know what I'm saying? And just warn it and do instead of just saying, well, we're not gonna, that's really hard when they have, we go down there and they're gonna ask us questions.
I agree. So I think warning them as a special meeting.
We could Facebook Live also.
Yeah, that's what yeah,
We won't be able to Zoom.
we can Facebook and,
Facebook. We can-
I think if we went to the library, they probably have enough technology where we probably could zoom down there. I don't know, but I don't really wanna walk around the firehouse trying to Zoom a meeting I just, I think if we want it, and I just wanna make sure we do it correctly,
correct.
but I just wanna get out, to the fire departments, the rescue squad. Again, that time. The library, I wanna get into the trailer parks. I wanna, get into, I just wanna become reconnected with the town.
I think it's a great idea. I'll make a motion.
I'll second it.
So the motion would be to, have several remote meetings. How would we do it? By invitation? If someone were to invite us?
Why don't we kind of figure it out and bring it back? Because I think, because the devil's in the details.
Yeah, all right.
We could take.
We can agree on the concept right now.
Yeah, we could.
So let's not even have a motion, Carl.
Okay, I'll rescind my motion.
Let's just research out what we need to do and then we can bring back a motion.
Yes.
It's gonna be absolutely, I just want to know it right, Jamie, for transparency and clarity, and that's all I want.
Well, I think we could take and keep the motion on the floor and
Just leave it on. Don't vote on it.
not vote on it, but send in, prospective letters to these organizations stating this is an idea that we have. Are you receptive to this? Would you like us to take and come down?
I think rescinding the motion at this time is probably a better option. Because then we can find out exactly what we need to do, and we can make the correct motion and then move forward with the whole process.
I'd like to discuss it at the next meeting.
Yes. Yeah, and she wrote it down. Sarah wrote it down. It's just a thought I had, and especially after all of the conversation at town meeting over some various things, I just think it's overdue. So we'll bring it back to the next meeting. We will be prepared at the next meeting to decide what's legal, what isn't, what's the right thing to do, and so on and so forth. All right. Executive assistant, administrative assistant, job description approval. Everybody had a chance to read those?
Yep.
Bill?
Yes.
Okay, I know Jamie and I were obviously involved in it, so. Do we want to do them together or do we want to do them separate?
I'm okay doing them together, but
I'll make a motion that we do them together.
Well,
If it's,
we don't need a-
it's okay with the, if it's okay with the ladies.
let's do them separate.
Okay.
Let's do them separate. I'll entertain a motion to approve the executive assistant job description as the board worked out and as written from our last special meeting on that particular.
so moved.
I'll second.
Any discussion on that? Any questions, comments, anything on that job description for the executive assistant? All those in favor?
Aye.
I'll entertain a motion to approve the administrative assistant job description as written and worked on the special meeting of 29th, right?
Mhm.
February 29th.
I'll make the motion.
Second.
Any discussion on the administrative assistant job description approval or job description? All those in favor?
Aye.
Those will be included with the minutes for people that would like to see them.
Perfect. Employee job performance review policy discussion continued.
So you asked me to get feedback from department heads, so that is what I have. If I could just read, this is from Darcy, but it's on behalf of Darcy, Joel, and Tom, all three of our department heads. Hi Tara, our departments are small and we work directly with each employee every day. We feel that this acts as a regular informal evaluation by the department heads on a regular basis. We address any issues that may arise with the department itself. This is very efficient. The department heads present themselves before the board every year to discuss budgetary needs. This is when our informal evaluations occur via questions and review of the budget as presented. At this time, we see no benefit in changing what is working so effectively. Sincerely, Darcy of the Pownal wastewater treatment facility, Joel of the highway department, and Tom of the transfer station.
What's your pleasure?
So I believe that you should be doing annual evaluations on all our employees, or we should. I just feel strongly about that because that's how you,
Right, but-
that's how you grow your employees.
Correct, but shouldn't the heads of the departments do the people underneath them and we do the heads of the departments?
Yes. No, I agree with that. I'm just,
Yes.
it's something that should be done annually, is all I'm saying.
I know it's tough for Tom, you know, he's only got one person working with him. Yeah, so it's, you know, and even Darcy, you know, it's tough.
Mhm.
Put yourself in that position, so. That's what they're kind of thinking. In the past, I've been made to review myself. And then my supervisor would review what I wrote about myself. And they would come to a conclusion. Either you hit the nail on the head, or no, you're in the wrong, you gotta work on this, you gotta work on that. So in the past, as an employee, I've rated myself basically, and then the boss would just look at what I wrote for myself and kind of grade it, and see. It's not necessarily the boss doing it. Should be more the employee.
So you did a self-evaluation
Mhm.
and then you turned it into your supervisor.
And that alleviates the supervisor coming up, and maybe you're in the wrong ballpark. Maybe the boss looks at you and say, you're way off. Or they might say, you're right. You evaluated yourself properly. But I know a lot of people, they end up getting into, it's, the company that they evaluate. But if you stick to evaluating yourself, you could do a good job at it. And
I mean, like Joel, you've got more employees, so you could stagger them. You wouldn't have to do them all at once.
But that's an interesting perspective.
That's,
Bill's perspective is an interesting perspective, and I mean, fortunately, unfortunately for me, I've worked for myself most of the time, so when I lay my head on my pillow at night, that's my evaluation if I can go to sleep or not, right? So I've never looked at it that way. I've never had that opportunity to be able to look at it that way, and it's, to me, that's a really interesting way to do it. And I think it does allow for the supervisor, whoever it is, to can say, hey, yeah, you're doing a good job at this, but you could do a little, you could do this a little, a little differently maybe, or whatever. How do you feel about that? I'm gonna put you on the spot because has anybody else been through a self-evaluation like that? You have?
Every day of my life.
Oh, yeah, yeah, so, you know,
I know, some people just run through it and they'll say, I've done great. Sometimes I do it, I've had times where you do a circle, 1 through 5, where are your abilities? And then other times I've actually had to write it out, or maybe both, a combination of the two. Maybe it's a certain skill that we need to have. You rate that, and then at the bottom, you get time to write stuff out where you feel it would be better.
well, so the way I look at this as I'm sitting here is that it also would give the employee, and I'm gonna look at you, Joel, and ask you, it would give the employee a chance, maybe even especially like a newer employee, right? He could write out, and I'm gonna use you because you're there. He could write out that he would like to be trained in doing X, Y, Z. Right? And he would feel better, he or she would feel better at their job performance if they were trained a little more in leaf blowing. I don't know. Just pick that, right? Does that make sense? Joel, as a department head? I mean,
Yeah, our take on it was we're such a small,
and I agree.
and we all kind of work together. You guys all know what we're doing. And if you're getting complaints, from the outside, a lot of complaints against us.
Well, and I want to be 100% clear on that, is we're not.
No.
Okay, we get minimal, if at all, right? And you guys all know that, all of our departments know that. This is just kind of trying to become fair across the board with evaluations, and Darcy's absolutely correct. We can do a job performance when you guys come in with your budgets. Right? That's a yearly evaluation of what your job is.
Yeah.
Our department heads, the three.
If you feel something is wrong with anybody, you always,
Right.
we do have, it's not like we're, in a big city or something.
Right.
We do have that report.
Right.
Oh,
At first look, I like the self-evaluation idea. I think it gives the employee a chance to be pretty honest about what's going on, and it's, so do we come up with does each department come up with their own?
What they're comfortable with.
Well, it should be,
Yeah, what they
should
would,
be associated with their job description.
right, that's what I mean. So that's something we should work on, and maybe coming up with, an evaluation form that you could hand each one of the employees, and I don't wanna give you more to do, but.
there used to be one back a few years back, we had one
Okay.
around now.
I can look into it and then come back to one of the next regular meetings.
Yeah.
Some examples of what.
That'd be perfect.
out there.
Why don't we plan on that?
I really like the self-evaluation. I like that idea though. I think that's a really good idea. I think super solid idea.
So that does help with
Sure.
learning, so.
Yep.
And department heads will just be annually when they come in.
Yep. Yeah, our department heads would, we do an annual review of our department heads when they bring their budget in. Darcy's is a little different time of year than,
And would I be considered a department head for Hannah, Wendy, Leonard, and zoning? Or are they doing?
What's that?
Operations that will come to you? Hannah, Wendy, Leonard, and Mike. Am
As
I
the
their
zoning.
department head, or are they coming directly to you?
That's a great question.
That is a good question. Very, very.
Oh, and Bill when he's here.
I would think that,
Those positions are appointed by the board, so.
Those positions, the appointed positions, they have to come before the board because we're the ones that put them in that position. So it's our responsibility to evaluate.
yeah, I think it would be hard for you to do the evaluations on the appointed,
Not if there's self-evaluations, it's no different than Joel doing bills.
well, that's also true.
It also seems like if Tara did it, she knows what we do. She's in office, she knows. Whereas like you guys know what I do, but you might not know what Wendy does.
I,
Be a food for thought.
Why don't we,
Think about it.
I'd like to see, I think I'd like to see self-evaluations all the way across the board.
Mhm.
And then maybe that self-evaluation, we can decide on that. Maybe the self-evaluation for the building and the zoning administrator comes back to you and then you bring it to the board. Cause ultimately it's gonna be the board, right?
Mhm.
But they can come to you and you can, throw in your comments and suggestions and whatever, and then bring it to the board.
Okay, we'll think on it. We'll bring it back.
Right? Yeah, no, I think so. I think that's, I think we're on the right track. What do you think?
Trying to get the right, yeah. get
Yeah.
them Lined up.
Yep, get it all lined up in the correct place it should be. Good. Good discussion. Select board areas of expertise discussion.
So this, I just want to make this an initial discussion because Angie's not here.
Right.
I sent this all to you. This was a document that was made, I think, with Rebecca a couple years back because the board never changed. Everybody just took a couple of things that they wanted to be experts on. For example, all things transfer station, so that you know kind of what's going on over there, you know, you touch base with Tom here and there, those kind of things. Somebody else had like animal control, so they check in with Leonard and it just makes it so they don't have to come to the whole board every single time they have a question or need to bounce an idea off of somebody. So if you all want to just kind of look it over and come up with like 3 to 5 things that you'd be interested in taking, we can bring it back when Angie's here, so we don't just stick her
can
with
we stick here with all the crap?
one.
Why don't we do it right now?
Yeah, you should have been here. Yeah, you shouldn't have been on your cruise. You should have been here. I think that's a good idea. I think we bring that back next.
I didn't realize she wasn't gonna be here.
I didn't either,
Just
actually.
yesterday, so.
Yeah. So we'll bring that back to the next regular board meeting in 2 weeks. Okay. Which brings me to public comment.
Jen has his hand up.
Go ahead.
Oh,
Sorry, you guys go first.
Gus No Landscape, West Pownal Court, also Assistant Chief of Pownal Valley Fire Department. And I'd like to bring our town meeting conversation back up and reiterate how disappointed we are with having to go back out and spend all this extra time with the training we have to go through. Volunteer, the calls that we go on, everything. There is no salary. I want to make that very clear to all board members, current and past. And to just, we'd be more than happy to host you guys at a meeting. See what, I mean, we have a couple members here that are part of local organizations that might have a little background in it, but it's a lot of time to ask a volunteer fire department that's saving your property and potentially your life, or the rescue squad saving your life to spend that kind of time, and it may not get the 150 votes that you may need, then more. Then you open the budget. Thank you.
Just like to add to that, I mean, you look at the ballot articles that we've been voting on, Mike, I don't think that our budget has changed since you were chief, if it has been very minimal.
I don't know if that is,
You know, and to ask for that and to see the amount of votes, the yes votes that we get for those. Who, you know, whose place is it to scrutinize it when there's 300 and it's more, we win by more than 300 and some odd votes every year, 400 some odd votes. I just don't think it's necessary, and you want to get the signatures, and that's my biggest problem. That's dealing what they may have. Thank you.
Back to the Pownal Rescue, I'm just gonna reiterate what they said. I mean, unlike them, we do have a salary, but I'm the only person in the town of Pownal who's currently on our rescue squad, so to have our employees have to go, ask them to go out, or we're at your house, oh, hey, can you sign this paper really quick? Well, I'm trying to save brain line. Like, it's not appropriate, it's not professional in that setting, and to have to go around and ask for those signatures or stand at the transfer station when, just like these guys, we're doing the training, we're putting in the hours, and we've done the work to be put on the ballot in the first place. We shouldn't have to go out every year to get them again.
Yeah.
Want to add, Jason? I just
Sure.
want to say that Craig Odell also reached out and stated the same thing as chief of Pownal Fire. What I stated to him was I was going to check into the statute.
I don't wanna get into a question and answer, Jamie. I don't
Okay.
wanna break the rule I set at the beginning of
Okay.
this meeting.
I just,
Then
I was going to get back to him. That's all. That's
Yeah.
all I was going to state on the,
I will say,
so.
that, you guys have been heard
Mhm.
and all the organizations have been heard. And that's the only comment I'm gonna put on there tonight. As far as any of that goes. But you definitely opened some eyes and,
Right.
and you were heard. And then we'll work on it from there. But I don't want to comment anymore because I'm gonna break my own rules.
I'm gonna apologize to Karen for all of us emailing you, you know, you're the middleman.
That's okay. I looked at them today. I'm like, oh, I can't answer yet.
We just-
Not yet.
You know, you're the middleman.
No, it's okay.
We're not coming at you about it. It's just very frustrating on our end.
It'll be coming back for discussion though. Definitely.
And I guess the question is, when should we expect to know whether? I mean, this is something that if
I would-
it happen, we have to jump on it.
I would say, Becky, I would say you can hold your breath and you'll be safe by the time it comes back.
I mean, okay.
Yeah.
Okay?
I have it on the agenda for next regular meeting.
Okay.
I just don't wanna be waiting until
I don't,
November to have to.
Oh,
yep. Any more public comment, Hannah? You guys all set? Anything else, Hannah?
Jim's hand is up, but I'm not sure if he has something.
Okay.
Guys, I'm sorry to come back again. But first of all, I didn't expect to do this, but because there is an attendance there, I just wanted to kind of clear the air here that first of all, the suggestion of the 350 or 150 votes was not the suggestion of Bob Jarvis. It was he wasn't even at the meeting, but I just wanted to make sure that that is in the records tonight. As to whether anyone gets paid salaries or anything like that, the people of Pownal do not really know that. So it could have been a misunderstanding on anyone's part. So this is where it comes to the point of how all the organizations are set up, but I've got to say, I appreciate everything that our first responders do. I contribute, and I think they're doing the best job. The small amount that they're asking for in their budgets, or in the ballots are not, that much compared to what the budget is. I have no complaints about voting for the budgets because, it is something that we need in town. Just secondly is, I just want to make sure you guys watch out for when you do your bidding, that you don't come back and after asking 3 or 4 people how much they want to bid for a certain service, let's say gravel crushing. I think it needs to be upfront that if you automatically are thinking about keeping the same person that you have doing it, that you should acknowledge that in your bidding. Otherwise, you're just playing the game. That's all right, Mike. I got the head shake there. You're just playing the game of trying to get a lower bid from other people or the same person that you're working with. So this has got to be a fair game. The excuse of just saying that you want to go with who you've enjoyed in the past is all right, is not a reasoning to keep from going with the lower bid. So thank you very much and have a good night.
Thank you, Jim.
Thanks, Jim.
Thank you. No problem.
Everybody,
I actually had one. We do have on the bids, we have a right to accept and or reject any or all bids.
yes.
It's,
Well, I think you just need a better reasoning, Joel.
well, Jim was quite a bit more to it, but
Yeah. But let's not, I don't wanna get into, it's not worth it, Joel, at the end of the day. We all have our reason. We're sitting here. We're the ones making a decision. Tonight it happens to be 4 board members that made the decision. We make the decision that we feel is the best decision for our town, no matter what the decision is. And as long as we're sitting here making those decisions, that's where we're gonna leave it. Any more public comment here?
That's it.
Nothing?
No.
I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Any discussion on it? All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, everyone, for attending.